Hello.
Hello. So how do you think the Ukraine war will play out?
Right now, I think Russia has they've developed a great strategy compared to how they were in 2 years ago. They have developed a new strategy. Developed such a strategy to where they're taking advantage of Ukraine's disadvantages, such as an ammo shortage, and the Russians know this. And instead of sending a whole clump of tanks, close together, taking an assault, they'll spread them out. So then Ukraine's just wasting one missile or one shell
Oh, how
on
wasteful.
on one Russian tank. And now that they got these turtle shell tanks, it makes it even worse for the Ukrainian situation. The Ukrainians are losing lots of men every day, so is Russia, but it's really just a war of attrition. So I think Russia will ultimately win.
Me too. Yeah. So how do you think the Russo-Ukrainian war will ultimately end?
I think in the upcoming years, months, we'll really see the war develop. I know people have been saying that for a while, but I think the next year or two will really show how the war will end. I personally think that Russia will take back all ethnic majority Russian controlled areas or predominantly population bases like Odessa, Kharkiv, the Kherson region. I think they'll annex those, and then whatever's left of Ukraine will be just a puppet state, just like Belarus.
What about Crimea?
Crimea, Crimea is they're never going to make it to Crimea. The Ukrainians will never make it to Crimea. They don't have the manpower or weapons to get there.
Yeah, I agree.
They had a whole counteroffensive planned, but we all saw how that went, and it didn't really make a difference at all. So, how do you see the war playing into a potential conflict between Russia and NATO someday?
I think that one day Russia is just obviously probably going to start picking down NATO countries, and eventually countries like Romania, who are on the border with Russia and Ukraine, and maybe the Baltics and Finland, are going to start realizing that if NATO wants to declare war on Russia, they're first to go. So they aren't really going to... I guess some of the NATO countries will be less willing to fight, especially the ones near it. But I think Russia will spark a conflict with NATO eventually.
It is moving towards that way, and I completely agree with you. These countries, such as Romania and Finland, that don't really have anything, and Sweden, that don't really have anything to do with NATO's affairs, even though they're in NATO, they're the ones that are going to be destroyed economically in every factor possible, environmentally, economically, socially, and politically impacted for many years in the future. So I think the unification of NATO members is very weak right now, and I think that'll play a huge part in how a potential conflict will go. France has made it clear that they want to fight Russia head on, but like I said earlier, NATO's just very divided right now, and U.S. with the election coming up could potentially become not available to NATO and potentially leave.
Yep, I agree.
For those that have sticked around this long into the video, we appreciate you watching, and consider subscribing, as it would help us out a lot. We are a new channel, and thank you for watching.